Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel for a little special video on a Friday that is going to cause a bit of controversy. There's going to be people that absolutely hate what I'm about to do, but because it's probably the biggest game of the season, obviously so far, it's match week number 2 before I start swearing at you guys, we're going to do a combined 11 of the current Chelsea and Liverpool team. Of course, Liverpool are the champions. We're going to get into the little caveats as to how I'm going to be thinking about this and obviously what I want you guys to do in the comments. But before we get into any of that, I'd love to ask you to subscribe to the George Benson football channel. And if you can, drop a like rating on today's video. Big weekend. It's a massive game. And this, even though it's still early and there's still a lot of injuries, Liverpool are just about to sign Thiago, so he probably won't be featuring. So Liverpool won't be at their strongest either. But this is a real test as to whether or not this season Chelsea can compete with Liverpool. Last season, we saw that the golfing class between Liverpool and everybody was huge. Liverpool were the deserved champions, one of the best teams I've seen play in the Premier League. Chelsea have spent a lot of money, and the Liverpool manager has had a lot to say about that, but Chelsea have spent their money very wisely. We're not involved in any FFP drama right now because we've actually sold players in order to fund these transfers, according to some. That isn't true, but it's straight up fact. So I thought today what we do is we talk about these players, we talk about how Chelsea match up against Liverpool, and then technically the way I want to do this is I want to position it in a way where we look at the Chelsea squad, we look at the quality and depth within the squad, we compare it to the Liverpool team that won the league last season, and we can start to talk a little bit about whether or not Chelsea are ready to make that step up to challenge Liverpool this season. We're also going to build the combined 11, and obviously it's going to be included in a graphic on the screen. But the key thing is with these videos, there's always going to be disagreements. There's always going to be people that are like, I can't believe you left this guy out. I can't believe you left that guy out. And I expect that to happen. It's a no-brainer. I'm going to try and do this, of course, with my Chelsea bias. I know some Liverpool fans will watch this and think, you're so bloody biased. You got blue tinted... Yes, I do. Okay, get over it. This is a George Benson football channel. It's a Chelsea channel. But I'm going to try and think about it logically. We're going to look across the pitch, starting with the goalkeepers. Alisson. Very good goalkeeper. Chelsea have obviously got Kepa, and Edouard Mendy's move is probably going to be confirmed today, which is great news. But I think this one, it's pretty self-explanatory that with the issues at Chelsea surrounding Kepa, is he good enough? Is he going to be first team goalkeeper? Alisson is the clear winner for this one, and he goes straight into the graphic. If I was to pick a goalkeeper, I would have to go with Alisson. Now we move into the defence. Liverpool's defence last season was very good. They had very similar backline week in, week out. Virgil van Dijk, he's the captain, but not the captain. Jordan Henderson is, of course, the Liverpool captain. Starting with the right-back position, you know, after seeing Reece James and the way he played against Brighton and he scored that goal, it would be easy for me to just jump the gun and stick him in ahead of Trent Alexander-Arnold, but Trent is a very good right-back. I think what we're seeing from Reece, and what we'll probably see this season, is him nurturing himself defensively, playing alongside someone like Thiago Silva. Reece James is going to improve defensively. Trent himself as well, like, he's not the best, he's not the complete right back when it comes to defensive attributes, but considering Trent's been playing at this level for a little bit longer, Chelsea fans, don't rip my head off, but for the sake of this video, we're going to put Trent just ahead of Reece for now, but I think these two are going to be competing for the England right back position for many years to come. But for now, Trent Alexander-Arnold is in there. And alongside him, we have gone with the man who has not yet played for Chelsea, which is going to pee some people off. You know, like, I was umming and ahhing about this video. I was like, is this a good idea? You know, I'm going to get rinsed for something. Thiago Silva. The man's been at the top of the footballing pyramid as a centre-back for many years. We've seen he's back in training. Supposedly he is fit and ready to play against Liverpool, but I don't know if we're going to see him start. I think it would show just how much faith Frank Lampard has in Thiago Silva if he does get the nod in the starting 11 for this one. But also, Christensen and Zuma did a pretty good job in that game against Brighton. Thiago Silva makes the defence. And I mean, this video would, like, there would be more dislikes than likes if I didn't include Virgil van Dijk in this video alongside Thiago Silva at centre-back. It sounds like one of the most intimidating centre-back partnerships there may have ever been in the world, apart from, of course, John Terry and Ricardo Carvalho, which if they were still playing, they would both be in here, even over big man Virgil. But I'm going to stick Virgil van Dijk next to Thiago Silva. It's pretty self-explanatory. The man scored a goal on the opening weekend as well. He's a key figure in this Liverpool team. He's been a brilliant signing. Money well spent. Respect where respect is due for this Liverpool side. And we move into the left-back position. Again, it would be very easy for me to keep those blue-tinted glasses on and say that Chelsea new boy Ben Chilwell, England's left-back, over Scotland's left-back, Andy Robertson. But Robinson? No, Robertson, that's the geezer's name. But at the same time, Robertson had a fantastic season last season for Liverpool. He was very consistent, he looks good going forward, good defensively, he works very hard. And at this moment in time, I would say that Robertson is ahead of Ben Chilwell. But again, and this is where the idea for this video really came in, with the strength in depth that Chelsea now have, of course, if it's against Spurs, I'd pick Marcus Alonso over Robertson any day of the week. But Chelsea have invested in a lot of areas where last season there were clear weaknesses. Ben Chilwell is clearly a step up from Marcus Alonso in the left-back role. Of course, I still pick Alonso some games at left wing-back, but Ben Chilwell's been brought in as a long-term future Chelsea left-back, and I think it won't be long until we see him in the side when he's recovered from that injury, and I think Chilwell will thrive in this Chelsea team. And again, come the end of the season, if Chelsea have as good season as we could potentially have with the signings we brought in and the money we've spent, this video next season could look very different. But that builds the entire defence. It's very Liverpool and red centric right now. Liverpool have dominated this video so far in terms of me making my selections. Let me know, of course, in the comments down below what your starting 11 would be, what the formation would be, and discuss the points I've made down below. We move in to a midfield three. I think you guys know that the real difficulty in this video is going to come with the strikers. As for a midfield three, I've decided to really make this one blue. And I think this is where Chelsea are so strong. And I think if we look forward, of course, there will be a match preview the morning of the Chelsea-Liverpool game. If we look forward to where Chelsea really are dominant in terms of the numbers of players we could use, I look through the Liverpool squad and I don't really necessarily see the strength and depth in midfield. Gini Wijnaldum, I think, is a brilliant player, and I'm actually surprised that Liverpool are even considering selling him to Barcelona. Of course, there's also been that agreement, and supposedly Thiago, who's signing from Bayern Munich. There was a mutual agreement verbally between him and Klopp back in June that he was going to be signing for Liverpool. That's now done. Of course, we've not seen him put on the Liverpool shirt yet. But as for the midfield three, I've gone with three Chelsea players. There was a debate in my mind. I've gone for Kante and Kovacic. And I was also thinking, could it be Hakim Ziyech? Something a little bit more dynamic. And then I thought, no, we've just gone and broken our transfer record to bring in a 21-year-old wonder kid who goes by the name of Kai Flippin Havertz. And I think it could have been Mason Mount as well. Yes, I'm going to give some very honourable mentions to some Liverpool midfielders. You've got Naby Keita in there. He's a decent player. I just think he's a bit inconsistent. Jordan Henderson, Liverpool's captain as well. He was one of the best players in the Premier League last season. But if I was to match these guys up, and I think if Liverpool had a Kante or a Kovacic in their squad, he would give up minutes, Jordan Henderson, for those players to play. So as for my Chelsea midfield, this one has taken over a little bit of bias, but I think in the future and at some stages this season, we will see a midfield three of Kante, Kovacic and Havertz, and I think it could cause a lot of, I was going to say, hazards to opposition defences. It doesn't really sound anything like Havertz. That was bad. But it's a Chelsea midfield three, and we move into what was one of the most potent attacks in Europe over the last few seasons. Liverpool's attack is pretty good. You got Mo Salah, you got Bobby Firmino, you got Divock Origi who likes a goal against Barcelona. You've also got Sadio Mane. And the one player from Liverpool who I have to have in this team is the man who scored a hat-trick on the opening weekend of the season against Leeds. It's Mo Salah. We're going to stick him on the right-hand side. It would be nice to stick a Hakim Ziyech in there as well, but this Liverpool side are the champions. They were a league above everybody else last season, and it would be easy for me to get completely carried away by saying that the signings Chelsea have made are immediately going to put us on par or above Liverpool. I'm not that delusional. Some people might watch this video and think, bloody hell, this Benson guy, he don't know anything about football, does he? Mo Salah's got to start on the right. As for the striker, despite winning the league last season, Bobby Firmino, the stats and the return wasn't really that great, to be honest. Liverpool are lucky they had players all over the pitch who were willing to chip in with goals. Timo Werner is a proper striker. We saw it at Leipzig. There's a reason that Jurgen Klopp wanted him to be in that Liverpool side this season. He chose Chelsea because he wants to win titles, which of course is something we're probably going to see over the next few years. Now, the position that I struggled with the most in this video is the final one in the starting 11, and it's the left wing position. And it's been between two players, quite obviously. Christian Pulisic of Chelsea and Sadio Mane of Liverpool. Now, You know, it's 5-5 right now. We got 5 Chelsea players in the lineup. We got 5 Liverpool players in the lineup. And this one completes it. And it's the reason I made this video, because it is so close when you look at things on paper. And I've not really built this team with the most tactical ideas in mind. It's more a case of like individual positions. Who do I think's a better player? And of course, with the midfield, we're going with 3 Chelsea. But the left wing, oh, you know, it could be Sadio Mane. I don't want to disrespect the guy. I think he's a phenomenal player. He's a goal scorer. He's fast. He's electric. He's skillful. But Christian Pulisic is the future of the Premier League, in my opinion. I think he's going to be one of the best players in this league for the next 10 years if Chelsea can keep hold of him and keep the clutches of Barcelona, Real Madrid away from this guy. Christian Pulisic, 21 goal contributions last season, his debut season at Chelsea. If I had to pick a starting 11, blue-tinted glasses, yes, but Christian Pulisic deserves to be in this team. I think he was so good last season. We saw him perform against Liverpool as well. And I think Christian Pulisic could walk into virtually any team in the world based off of the form that we saw towards the end of last season. So obviously, if we make the bench, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it. I've gone with Kepa, gone with Ben Chilwell, Zuma, Mount, Firmino, Ziyech, and of course Sadio Mane. I kept changing my mind about who I wanted. Pulisic on the left, Mane on the left. I've decided to go with Pulisic. But what I really wanted to conclude from this video is that when you look at the depth within this Chelsea squad and you look at the depth within the Liverpool squad, even with the signing of Thiago, Chelsea have actually got 2 players for virtually all positions now in terms of the midfield, in terms of the defenders, centre-backs as well, striker as well, with Tammy Abraham having a good season. There is so much depth in this Chelsea team that even with injuries and even not being able to field our strongest possible 11 for this game on Sunday, I think this season, the way that Chelsea could bridge the gap is not just the quality that is available at their disposal with the new signings, but also how many different players Frank Lampard can call upon depending on tactical situations, injury situations. Obviously, the Premier League is playing catch-up. There's games that need to be played a bit thicker, a bit faster this season to try and make up for the lost time from COVID. So, yeah, based off of all of that, that is the team we have gone for. As always, I'd love to hear what your team would be in the comments down below. I cannot wait for this game on Sunday. It's a real test of this Chelsea side, playing against the champions, one of the best teams in recent memory in the Premier League. If you're a Liverpool fan, let me know. Are you scared of Chelsea this season? Let me know that in the comments down below. If you haven't yet hit the like button on today's video or subscribe, make sure to do so. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. The link is down below. And if you want to join the Discord server, it's just $1 a month. I put the field out there for you guys and I discuss some of the topics within videos. So let me know if that's something you want to do by joining in the description. Thank you guys. I'll catch you all tomorrow with a brand new video. See you later.